Hey World Wide Web, welcome back to the lab for another edition of the Tri-City Evolution Rally Team Nissan Sentra SCR project. On today's episode, we will hopefully be totally finished with the steering rack conversion. If the weather cooperates, we'll be dragging the generator outside and getting the welder fired up to plug up all those holes. I've got the components to do the inner and outer tie rod conversion I use 96 Maxima parts. Anything from that generation should work. We'll do an eyeball alignment when we're done and get a proper alignment later when the car is running and driving, hopefully at least a week before the event gets here. Also on the agenda, we'll be pulling out the other spare SR and harvesting the upper and lower oil pans to swap those over on the Infinity engine. Got some wiring stuff that we can get done today. I've got the tools and parts I need to start on the rerouting of the power wires. And yeah, so let's just get right into it. I'll catch you on the flip side with an update. Alright, it's time we conclude this episode. It's been a few days since we started. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right into it. I didn't get around to using the welder until tonight. I added a little piece down here, a plate, to support the front of the core support. Get some spot welds in over here. We didn't have that before. It helps stiffen this area up a lot. Got the cross member in. That's good. You can notice that the core support is white now. Got a coat of primer and a coat of paint on. Needs another coat, maybe two. Yeah, it's looking pretty good otherwise. Also, I'm not sure if it showed up on the time lapse, but my wife came out a couple times, spent a lot of hours stripping off the old livery from the car. Really appreciate her help. That's a really terrible job and nobody likes doing it. But she did a good job. I swapped out the tail lights. Those are from my 93 Sentra. I daily drive that car sometimes. I prefer these tail lights to the ones that were on the car, so I figured I might as well swap them out. Got my license plate in place. I'm legal. I've got insurance, so when it's time to race, we're good to go. We're going to leave this part of the old livery. That's one single E from Entropy Rally Team. That's the guy who built the car, and figure we'll leave a little memento. So these are vinyl erasers. It's a rubber disc that you throw in the drill. This one's spent. I might as well throw it away. This one's relatively fresh. Anyway, it makes pretty quick work of removing the old vinyl without damaging the paint underneath. Works pretty good. It's way better than the alternative of scraping, peeling, and pulling, or using heat. Definitely grab one of those if you ever have to remove vinyl from your car. We're back around to the front, so I'll show you the inner and outer tie rods have been installed. Got the boots on, and the old fittings have been welded up and put back in place. So that completes the steering rack conversion. I ended up not using the Maxima inner tie rods because once I pulled them out of the box, they were way too long. The reference I used on Zilvia for tie rod options was incorrect in the tie rod length for the Maxima. I ended up doing some homework and found that the S14 240SX inner tie rods are the same length as the B13. So I picked up a set of those, and that's what's in the car now. So yeah, when it comes time to do an alignment, it should be just like doing it with the stock stuff. Only now we've got the more robust 14mm threads instead of the 12. Yeah, while we're over here, we'll take a quick peek at the oil pan is installed. That's the one that the previous owner purchased, not knowing that the upper pans were different. Got the upper pan on there from the spare engine, so that's cool. That completes that part of the project. We'll come back to that engine in a little bit. Yesterday, I went to Smitty's Engine and Transmission out in Vassar, where my buddy Tony helped me install the M Factory differential. Finally got that done. Or do we? So, since I didn't take any video yesterday, I'll explain what happened. Everything was going really smoothly until it was time to drop the final drive into the case. It rubbed really bad on the inside, so we ended up hogging that out pretty extensively to get it to fit. Well, at one point in time, we nicked the speedometer driven gear on the mechanical pickup. So we decided we should pull that out so we don't damage it further. Well, I damaged it a lot pulling it out. So anyway, we ended up getting everything assembled over there and brought it home, unloaded it, and today I pulled the speedometer driven gear from the spare transmission, and when I jammed it in there, I wasn't sure if it was interfering with the differential or because it was such a tight fit going in and coming out. Anyway, I put in one of the half shafts to try turning everything to see how smooth it was operating. It's not so smooth. I think it's bound up, and I'm afraid that it might be that speedometer driven gear. So I got to pull that back apart and figure out what's going on. I would have been really close to being able to reinstall the drivetrain otherwise, so hopefully this isn't a huge setback. Also on the bench, I have this valve cover from a 2002 Infiniti G20. I don't know if you can spot the differences, but this has a internal baffling that basically takes the place of the factory catch can. Let's go back over and I'll explain it a little bit. I don't want to get into this a ton because you can get on YouTube or get on Google and see how PCV systems work. But basically, this catch can pulled vapor out of the crankcase to condense it and return the oil back to the oiling lubrication system, and then it would pull out some of the vapors to re-inject into the engine to burn it up. Well, on this one, it would pull here to the air intake, and then it would pull here to the intake manifold. So this would draw that oily vapor out of the valve cover and put it into the intake manifold to burn it up in the combustion process. And on this side, it would pull from the crankcase to condense like the majority of that oil and send it back, and then it would use this side as the vacuum source. So with that other valve cover, it will pull everything through the baffles in the valve cover to get it to condense back into the crankcase, and then whatever was left would come into the intake manifold and get burnt up. So I'll explain a lot more about what's going on with that when it comes time to do the rest of those modifications. I think that's everything. That should cover everything that's been done on this edition. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm not sure what will get done. Like, subscribe down there under the video on the right. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know if you like how the videos have been. I went back and watched a bunch of them. I have enjoyed them, so I hope you do also. But let me know in the comments if you want more explanations, if you want more in-depth time lapses. Yeah, let me know what you want to see, and I'll see if I can implement it. I don't have a lot of time to be explaining everything on video. I'm not doing anything revolutionary. If you want to know more, hit me up in the comments. I can either send you to a forum or another video that could better explain some of the stuff that I got going on. But yeah, otherwise hit us up on Facebook and Instagram. I post updates there more frequently, so by the time this is uploaded, I'll already have updates on Instagram and Facebook about the next episode and what I've got going on. Check out Tri-City Evolution Rally Team on Facebook also, and follow us over there, because we'll be gearing up to go to the next rally here pretty soon. It's about 5 weeks away, so got a lot of work to do, and look forward to seeing you next time here in Dexter's Lab. Thanks for checking it out.